So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. As usual, we will be discussing Indian Express newspaper since it was weekend, so we will be covering news articles from Saturday and Sunday as well. Okay, so let's start. We will be starting with the practice question as usual, which is given to you in the previous lecture, and then we will move forward with the 3-4 important articles. We will be discussing twin test under PMLA. PMLA has been in news because of the Delhi CM and the bail matters which was related to it, under which recently the trial court has granted the bail to Mr. Kejriwal, but High Court has put a stay on it. So that was there, because of which PMLA has been in news, and section 45 of PMLA, which we have discussed in the last lecture, that is also in news. We will be discussing what is this twin test is, and we will see when it is required to be followed. Okay, then second is lithium mining in India. When we are talking about lithium is very important resource as of now, because we are going for the electrical and electronics industry. Other than that, for our electronic vehicles related industry etc. So this becomes important, lithium, and when we are talking about the batteries etc., lithium becomes important. Okay. So recently when we are talking about this lithium, there was this places which has been in news. We will be talking about that, and these places was related to the lithium resources wherein they are found. And now what are the problems with respect to the mining or the excavation of the lithium, we will be talking about that. Okay. Then ISRO's Pushpak, that is basically RLV, that is reusable launch vehicle. So we will be talking about that. We have earlier discussed it when it was going for the second test. We have discussed about it. Now this is the third trial, it has performed successfully, so that is there. Okay. Afterwards we will be moving towards around the world. There will be 3-4 articles from the world we will be discussing. We will also discuss the issue of Russia. And recently that Russia and North Korea has gone for signing a deal. Okay. So we will be talking about that deal, we will be talking about the significance of that deal. Okay. And afterwards, for your own read, there will be 2 articles. These are 2 small articles, so that would be easy for you to go through it. Okay. Then moving further, we will be seeing a practice question. With that, we will be wrapping up the session. Okay. When we are talking about the front page of today's newspaper, here it is. In burnt scraps, Bihar police found 68 questions matching original NEET paper. Now there was this earlier, there was this controversy with respect to the NEET. Okay, then after that UGC NET exam has been cancelled, because they said that because of the the integrity of the testing authority has been compromised, and that is why they are going for the cancellation of that exam. Okay. Then CSIR exam got cancelled. So after that, there was this probe which has been started, and CBI has taken over the NEET probe now. Okay. We will not go into details of it as of now until unless there is something concrete to talk about, but we have talked about the issue which was there when we are talking about the NEET paper. When we have seen that there was certain paper which has happened, and there was some grace marks which has been awarded. After that, in Bihar there was allegations that there was a paper leak. Okay, in that regard, this is there. Okay, so if you are interested, if you have some kind of stakes which are there with respect to the exam, so you can go through this article. Okay. Then that House Lok Sabha is about to assemble. Okay, for that we will be covering that particular aspect in the in news program. Okay, so now let's start with the practice question. So which ancient Chinese traveler visited Nalanda University and left detailed accounts of splendor? Okay, Fa Hien, Wangzang, Itzing, and Zhang He. Okay, so option B is your right answer, that is Huan Sang. Okay, Huan Sang, option B. Then moving further, let's see. We will start with a very interesting factor. We have always talked about the invasive species. Okay, we have always seen that there are various species which are coming from outside, and they are taking up the space of the native species. Okay, recently we have found that there was this species, that is Indian crow. Okay, so Indian crow has actually gone to the African continent, and they are creating chaos in Kenya. Kenya right now facing this many problems with respect to the Indian crows. Okay, so that is an when we are talking about the Kenya or the African continent, this Indian crow is basically an invasive species. They are actually harming the native species over there. Even they are trying to displace them. Okay. Second thing is, there are certain behavioral factors which are mentioned in this article. If you are interested, you can go through it. Otherwise, I'll tell you 2-3 important things from here. That these crows, they works in team. Okay. So whenever I have saw a crow or some, whenever on my terrace or something, whenever I saw them, so I have always had this thought that they are planning something. Okay, and this time I got to realize that this is in their behavior. They are actually team players. They plan, plot, and then they go for the attack. So basically in Kenya there has been certain incidences where they have seen that these crows, one will attack the nest of a particular you can say bird. They will that particular crow will drive that bird away from that. The other crows will come and steal the eggs from there. Okay, so this kind of plotting they can do. They are an intelligent species. Okay, so at the time when we are there was this voyages etc which used to go when by the sea route etc. So they used to have crows on their, you can say, crew. Okay, for just because they are intelligent being. Okay, so that is there. Here you can see they are the bad boys of the Kenyan skies, swooping down to steal foods from the tourist place, pushing out local bird species from their habitats and raiding crops. So these are certain things which Kenya is facing right now because of the Indian crows, and that is why they have started murdering the crows. Okay, so basically they have decided that they will kill them. Okay, so there are the Kenyan government has declared a war on them. Okay, and plan to eliminate 1 million house crows by December 31. Now house crows are invasive species or you can say alien birds that have been a nuisance in the public for decades. These birds also pose a major inconvenience to the hotel industry because these are the areas where you will find you can say swimming pools, there you will find a lot of food, lawn areas etc. So they are basically attacking these areas as well. Okay, so here they have mentioned that they are stealing foods from the plates of tourists. Okay, so that is there. Okay, the plan includes the poison the birds using starlicide. Okay, starlicide. Now this is a poison. Okay, and this is also called as avicide. Avicide means the word avi or avian, you must have heard that is related to birds somewhere, and side means to kill. Okay, so that is avicide. It is a avicide, that is starlicide. Okay, whenever you have this side word somewhere, so you might have known that this is something related to killing something. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, how these crows has moved to the African continent, there are various stories behind it, or you can say various accounts on that. So some has said that Britishers has taken them over there because there was this problem of litter. Okay, second thing is there are some, as I told you, when there was the sea voyages or the shipments etc. So the crew or the members who are traveling through the sea, they used to accompany with the crows because they are intelligent being. Okay, so that is how they have been taken to the African continent. We know that that is the case when we are talking about the sea voyages. In Australia also we are having these crows, and that is the case with Australia. And because of the sea route or because of these sea voyages, these crows has reached Australia, and similarly we are hoping that they have reached to the African continent as well. Okay, so that is about it. Okay, so now moving further. So this we have already seen earlier. First, these Britishers has gone to the Tanzania. This was actually the protectorate of Britishers back then. And then through ships that they have arrived from the Indian subcontinent, crows are very common pets among sailors as they are extremely intelligent. We know for sure that this is how the crows reached Australia, and we are fairly certain that that's how they have got to the same part of Africa. Okay, so that is about these crows. Now moving further, we'll be starting with the first article for our real discussion now, that is related to your bail in money laundering cases and the twin test under PMLA. Okay, now a trial test, as I told you, the trial court has given bail to Mr. Kejriwal, and then the ED has gone to the High Court, and High Court put a stay on that. Okay, so that is there. High Court has said that they will consider the matter and then they will decide on it. Till then they have put a stay on that. Okay, now when we are talking about the PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, there are certain special provisions which we have talked again and again, but I am repeating them again over here, that when we are talking about filing of the charge sheet, when we are talking about the bail related provisions, PMLA has certain advantages. Okay, or you can say certain special power has been given to the agencies over there. Okay, with respect to that, one is section 45. Now this section 45 is having a negative connotation attached to it, or you can say language of section 45 is negative, that court shall not give bail. Okay, so that thing is, they are saying that Not giving bail is the rule, giving bail is the exception. Okay, so we'll talk about the section 45 over here. Let's start. The trial court granted bail to the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Delhi High Court stayed the order, reserve its order till next week, and ED has challenged the trial court's order on the basis that the trial court could not perform the twin test. Okay, twin test of granting the bail. So we will talk about the twin test as well. Now there are certain cases which has been mentioned over here, that cases might not be very much important for you until unless you are a judiciary aspirant. Okay, so but the thing is, we will talk about the section 45 and we will talk about the twin test over here. Okay, now section 45 of PMLA, which deals with the bail, first states that no court can grant bail for offences under this law. Now this is what has been the starting of this section 45, which is saying that no court can grant the bail, okay, under the offence under this law. So the thing is, rule is that you will not be given a bail. Okay, now exceptions is, then proceeds with the few exceptions, that the negative, this particular negative language which has been used, that no court shall give the, or you can say no court can give the bail, that means that the idea behind it was that the first thing which they want to establish, that they do not want you to get the bail. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing is, it shows that the bail is not the rule, but it is an exception under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which exceptions are, which they are basically given in the next sentence over here. Okay, so the provision makes it mandatory to hear the public prosecutor in all bail applications. When the prosecutor opposes the bail, they apply the twin test. Okay, so the thing is, you have to hear both the parties whenever there is a bail application. The accused will also give their arguments, and the prosecutions will also give the argument. Okay, when prosecution is opposing the bail, and then you have to apply the twin test. Okay, when you will apply the twin test, that twin test is basically that there are reasonable ground for believing that the accused is not guilty of such offence. This is the first one, that there is a reasonable ground on which judge thinks that accused is not, he has not gone for the offence. Okay, so that is one thing. Second is that he is not likely to commit any further offence, or when he is on the bail, he will not commit any further offence or interfere with the investigation. Okay, so these are the twin tests which they have to apply. In this particular case, ED is saying that they did not apply this test. Okay, why? Because they will it is not likely to commit any offence while on the bail. Now if you are tampering with the evidence, that is also an kind of when we are talking about the CRPC etc., so that is also an hold on a second. Okay, so when you are on the bail and you are going for any kind of influence, or if you are using your influence to make some kind of tweaks, that is also tampering with the evidence. Okay, so in this case, when we are talking about the CM of Delhi, so there are chances that he is an influential person, so there are chances that something like that might happen. We are not saying that he will do it or not. Okay, but here when we are talking about applying the twin test, we have to see the possibility, because we don't know how what is the mens rea behind the person's, okay, or what is the intention of a person. But here when we are talking about this particular twin test here, we have to make sure that he does not have that kind of opportunity at all. Okay, but when we are talking about the CM of Delhi, he might have such opportunity because he is an influential person. Okay, so that is why ED has said that they have not actually applied the twin test. Okay, secondly, similar provisions are there in the section 36 AC of the Drug and the Cosmetic Acts, section 37 of the Narcotics and the Psychotropic Substance Act, and section 43D 5 clause of the UPA Act. Okay, so these are also certain acts which are having stringent bail procedures, wherein getting a bail is difficult. Okay, even when we have we might have talked about the UPA as well when we are talking about the bail. Okay, now no person accused of an offence punishable under chapter 4 punishment of terrorist activities and 6 terrorist organizations of this act shall be released on bail or on his own bond unless the public prosecutor has given an opportunity of being heard. Okay, so that is what UPA is saying here when we are talking about this particular statement over here. That is the provision which is there in the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. Okay, so that is there. Then here they have said that whenever bail related matter is there, then prosecutors should be given an opportunity to be heard, and if the court is of the opinion that there are reasonable ground to believe that the accused is prima facie true. Accusation is prima facie true. So basically what they are saying that in this particular matter or anything which is related to the bails in pre-MLA and UPA etc., prosecutions should be given an opportunity to put forward their case, and second thing is twin test must be applied. Okay. Now legal challenges to twin test. In Nikesh Tarachand Shah versus Union of India 2017, there was this case. In that particular case, they have struck down the bail provision under the constitution on the ground that it is a condition which is not a reasonable classification. Okay, because when we are talking about the Nikesh Tarachand Shah case, in this case court has observed that the provisions which are saying that in the cases like PMLA, UPA, narcotics, you are not supposed to give bail. Okay. So what they have decided here over that when we are talking about the UPA, when we are talking about the narcotics etc., these are the heinous crimes. Okay, these are the crimes of the higher degree. Then why the economic crime like prevention of money laundering that has been attached with the laws which are dealing with the terrorist and narcotics etc. etc. At that point of time, the court has said that because of this classification is not reasonable, and that is why they have actually struck down this particular law. After that, Parliament reintroduced it as a finance bill in 2018. Okay, and then they have reintroduced the same provision. After that, there was another case. In that particular case, what happens that the name of the case was Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus Union of India. In that particular case, court has observed that this classification is reasonable. We will not go for the other the previous case. We will you can say overturn the judgment of that particular case, because the government has put forward a particular key point over here. I would like to tell you that we are unable to agree with the observation in the Nikesh Tarachand Shah case. This is what court has said. Okay. Then coming to the next part, the logic of equating money laundering with the stringent anti-terror and the narcotics law, when the offense of the money laundering, however serious, carries a maximum sentence of only 7 years. Okay. So what they are saying is that when we are talking about the terrorist laws or the narcotics law, the sentences are quite high. When we are talking about the money laundering act, this maximum sentence is 7 years, and if that is attached with the narcotics case, that is maximum 10 years. Okay. Then why we are putting these parameters on the economic offense as well. Okay. So here government has put forward a point. They have said that a person who is committing a fraud under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, or he is going for the accumulation of the black money, he is doing it with an intention that no one will ever find it out. Okay. So that is one thing. Second thing is he is doing a planning and plotting for it. He is aware of what he is doing. Okay. So that person is having a particular level of intellect as well. Okay. Now the thing is, if he is on the bail, he will make sure all the evidences which are, or you can say money trail etc., can be removed by him. Okay. So he can tamper with the evidence, because that person is having a particular type of intellect, that is having a particular kind of influence. Because when we are talking about the money laundering related cases, you know that the money laundering cases are like 3,000 crore, 150 crore to 500 crores. I'm taking liberty of saying that these are some cases even more than that we have so the thing is, when a person who is dealing with such amount of money, he is influential. Okay. Second is he is having certain kind of intellect, so he might go for the tampering of the evidence, and ultimately we will never find out what was the money trail was there. Okay. That is why these bail should not be granted. Okay. So that is what the opinion has been given by the government in front of the court. Okay. When we are talking about the government, you know that the government has their own advocates over there. Okay. So with respect to this, the court has said that we will not go to the this earlier Nikesh Tarachand Shah verdict. We will overturn the verdict, and since then these laws are valid in India. Okay. So basically there are you will not be getting a bail if you are under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. You are convicted under, or you can say you are accused under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The thing is, until unless there is a twin test which has been applied and the judge prima facie thinks that you might not have committed the offense. Okay. So that is you can say that is kind of an stringent law with respect to the bail. Okay. Now current position in law, as I told you, this when we are talking about this particular Finance Act 2018, in which they have dealt with the provisions of bail etc. So there are certain people who have said that why is that bail provisions are dealt with the, you can say, Finance Act and considered it as a money bill. Okay. So there are various bills which has been given the status of money bill, like Aadhaar Act, or when we are talking about this Finance Act 2018. So there are, you can say, controversies with respect to that, and these cases are in front of Supreme Court. Supreme Court will decide on whether it was right going by the money bill way. But the thing is, as of now, these laws are valid in India. Okay, so that is about the bail in the prevention of money laundering cases. Okay, now hold on a second, we'll move to the next part. Okay. Amid setbacks, first sign of progress in the lithium mining in Chhattisgarh. Okay. Now we have seen that why lithium mining is important for us. Lithium is being used in various industries, batteries, etc., etc. So that is there. For our industry to flourish, when we are talking about the electrical vehicle, the fuel requirement is, when we are talking about the fuel, that is basically electricity which is used. Okay, for that storage we need lithium ion batteries, etc. So that is why lithium is an important resource as of now, and we are trying to get lithium from various countries. Like we have these you can say agreement with Argentina, etc. Okay, now exploration of lithium is a critical mineral used for the making of the lithium ion batteries in Chhattisgarh Korba district. Okay, please remember the name of the district as well, because since it is a place where you are finding particular kind of resource, that becomes important for you. Okay, so in Chhattisgarh's Korba district has moved a step further, one block advancing to the second round of the auctions, and the promising deposit now being found in the initial exploration of the another block. So basically this is not important for us. Just know that in Chhattisgarh we have a Korba district. Okay, and with respect to that we are moving in direction of the auctions related to, you can say, exploration of these blocks. Okay, when we are talking about the mining related activities, there are certain blocks which are created, and these blocks are basically auctioned. Okay, so that is there. A series of roadblocks were there when we are talking about the lithium exploration. Okay, India's first lithium mine, including the cancellation of the auction of lithium block in Jammu and Kashmir's Raisi district. Okay, this recently there was this terrorist attack which has happened in that particular district. Okay, so in Jammu and Kashmir there was this block. Okay, but the thing is, there was insufficient interest of the investors at that point of time, and because of which we could not go further with respect to that. Second, Manipur's Kamjong district. Okay, so there also we had this particular reserve of lithium, but the thing is, the locals have registered over there, and because of which we could not go further with that. Okay, not encouraging results from the exploration in the Ladakh and Assam areas as well. In Ladakh and Assam areas also we have these little deposits. Okay, so now if they ask which are the places where you will find lithium, one you can say Chhattisgarh, then Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Assam, okay, and Manipur. These are the areas which you can remember as of now. Okay, other than that I will be showing you a map. Then the primary end-to-end use of lithium, a critical mineral, is in the lithium ion batteries, which are extensively used in the electrical vehicles and the consumer electronics. Okay, lithium is also used in the energy storage systems. These are basically your batteries. Okay, then demand having grown significantly recently because of the push which we are giving to the electrical vehicles. Okay, over the past years, and set to rise further moving forward. The global rush for mining the critical mineral is there. Okay, so everyone wants to possess this lithium resources. Okay, so in India or also outside, also in the global front also, we are trying to get these access to the lithium reserves. Okay, so that is there. India too has been trying to scout for the opportunities in the lithium mining domestically as well as overseas. When we are talking about the overseas, mostly in the Latin American countries we are trying. Okay, 38 block of critical minerals for auctions which are there in India. Okay, 2 lithium blocks, one in Jammu and Kashmir's Raisi district and the other is Chhattisgarh's Korba district, which are there, and these are the 2 blocks which we have already talked about, and there are total 38 blocks which has been identified. Okay, so that is there. Only the Korba block garnered enough investors interest in the auction process to continue. Okay, so as I told you, we have talked about the Jammu and Kashmir sector. The investors were not very much interested over there. There can be various reasons. When we are talking about Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh region, there are certain restrictions over there. There are certain things when we are talking about the peace and stability, etc. That is why industry is not yet comfortable to go over there and set up plants. Okay, so that is there. Then lithium found in hard rock, these are granites and pegmatites. Okay, so please remember the name of these two rocks, that is granite. Second is your pegmatites. These are hard rocks in India and significantly harder to extract. This is significantly harder to extract because when we are talking about the concentrations, okay, so this concentration of a particular mineral also matters. Okay, so that is there. So that is about lithium ion. Here you can see these are the area where you will find these lithium ion. Okay, so that is Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh region. Okay, then you have Rajasthan, then you have Jharkhand, there is this Chhattisgarh. Okay, then Manipur, some part of Manipur, Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, these are also there. Okay, we have already talked about Assam, Manipur, we have talked about Chhattisgarh, we have talked about Jammu and Kashmir, we have talked about Ladakh. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, remember that Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya, Nagaland, these are also the areas where you will find these lithium resources. Okay, so that is about it. Next, moving further, ISRO's reusable launch vehicle ACE's third and the final landing test. Okay, so the news article or the news item is saying over here, the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO on Sunday successfully demonstrated the landing capability of the reusable launch vehicle, that is RLV, named as Pushpak. Okay, Pushpak, you can say that this name was taken when we are talking about theologically. Okay, so this was the name of Ravan's vehicle. Okay, and why it is important? Because Ram returned to Ayodhya on this particular vehicle. Okay, that is what it mentioned in the theologies. Okay, so the name has been given Pushpak. For the third time they are testing it, and that is the final phase of testing and bringing it one step closer to the using the vehicle for the orbital missions. Okay, and this was the third and the final test. Aeronautical Range ATR in Karnataka's Chitradurg district, at which they have actually tested it. What they have done is that they have used the Chinook. Okay, this Chinook helicopter is there, and they have taken this particular you can say Pushpak with the help of the Chinook, and then they have left it and it has gone for the descending over there. Okay, to bring down the launch cost to remain competitive, the reusable launch vehicles by the ISRO is designed to take the satellites to the space and then land on the runway like a aircraft. Okay, so we will see when we are talking about the trajectory, we will see in the further slide that how it is. What they are doing is that to cut down the cost, to make it affordable, to make it competitive in the global market, what they are doing is that they are taking this satellite with this particular Pushpak to the space, putting it in the orbit, and then it is coming back to the earth. Okay, when it is coming back to the earth, it is landing like a aircraft. Okay, so when we are talking about the, you can say the other launch vehicles of like SpaceX, etc., we know that we have this company SpaceX, American, by Elon Musk. Okay, so when we are talking about their satellite launch vehicles like Falcon 9, etc., these are also reusable launch vehicles. They are coming down vertically. Okay, but when we are talking about our Pushpak, this will come down horizontally like an aircraft. Okay, so this will be the trajectory. When we are talking about the Falcon 9, it will descend like this vertically. Okay, let's say this is your Falcon. So basically this is the engine or the jet, and they will be controlling the speed with the fuel over there. Okay, so this will be descending like this. Okay, and when we are talking about our Pushpak, it will be coming like this, like an aircraft on the runway. Okay, so that is there. Now moving to some specification, we will be talking about the Pushpak. Pushpak is a reusable launch vehicle designed to take satellites into space and land horizontally like an airplane. Executes precise horizontal landings with wings for the gliding. Okay, as I told you, this will be coming like an aircraft, so it has wings as well. Okay, unlike vertical landing of various you can say spacecrafts. Okay, technology highlights: uses advanced autonomous capabilities for precise landing under the challenging conditions. Reuse wings body. Okay, as I told you, there are wings which has been provided for that. So it is a wing body and a flight system from previous experiments without modifications. Employs multiple sensors including internal sensors or inertial sensors, radar emitters. India's Navik, you know that. If you don't know, then please go and read about Navik, because it is our own indigenous, you can say, satellite based positioning system. Okay, just like the GPS that is of USA, we have Navik. Okay, validated advanced algorithm for the correcting longitude and the latitude lateral errors. Okay, so that is not much important for us. Just know that it is set with Navik inside it. Okay, it is having a wing body and it will go for the horizontal landings. Okay, so that is there. And then moving further, operational details when we are talking about this particular test. So they have gone to the 4.5 kilometer altitude by Indian Air Force Chinook helicopter. Okay, achieving landing velocities that is nearly 320 kmph, managed using a brake parachutes. Okay, so when we are talking about this particular aircraft, you will see that this will be something like that. Okay, I'm not very good with the drawings. Okay, so this is your wing body and this will be landing like this. So there will be some parachute behind this. Okay, this parachute, what will it do is that parachute will try to control the speed. Okay, when it is coming down. Okay, so speed has to be reduced significantly. So that is what will be done by the parachute. So that is called as parachute brakes. Okay, so here you can say brake parachutes and the landing gear brakes. Then future plans, if we talk about ISRO progresses toward the orbital missions with the orbital reusable vehicle, that is RLV. Okay, leveraging the success of the RLV landing experiment, so which we have just done. Significance: demonstrates ISRO's capability in developing critical technologies for reusable launch vehicles, aiming to reduce launch cost and enhance competitiveness at the global space industry. Okay, since we are trying to be commercial service provider to the various countries. Okay, and we are having our own commercial you can say arms. Okay, New Space India Limited, we have Antrix, etc. So in that regard, it is quite significant that we have gone for the successful trial of the reusable launch vehicle. Okay, now moving further, here you will see this is the, you can say, this is how it lift off. Okay, so this is the Chinook helicopter, this is our Pushpak. You can see there are these wings over here. Okay, so this will go up to a height of 4.5 kilometers that we have already talked about, and after that it will release it. Okay, when it is released, here you can see it is coming like this horizontally, and then these are the parachute brakes and this is moving on the runway. Okay, so this is how it will happen. So what will happen is that it will be launched with a, you can say, satellite. When a satellite will be launched with help of Pushpak, it will go into the orbit, it will place the satellite over there, then it will come back to our atmosphere, and then it will go like this. Okay, so that will be the reusable launch vehicle. Now moving further to the next one. Delhi, Dhaka set new ball rolling on the economy, trade, strategic ties, etc. So you can go through this article because there is nothing much to discuss. That they have actually gone for 4 significant facts over here. Okay, these are related to, one is your Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA. Okay, they decided to launch a medical e-visa facility for Bangladesh citizens. That is second. Send a technical team to discuss Tista River water sharing. That is third. And fourth is the opening of the Assistant High Commission in Rangpur. Okay, so these are the four key imperatives. So the one is focused on the health. Okay, second is focused on the recovery of the economy of the Bangladesh. Okay, India is trying to support a extending arm, because the thing is we are trying to curb the influence of China in this particular region. If we will not do it, then China will do it, and we do not want that Bangladesh goes into the China's influence. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, also when we are talking about the India and Bangladesh, we are having very good relations over here. Okay, so Bangladesh PM Sheikh Hasina in power since 2008. Okay, once held for her successful national economy, but after the COVID, okay, after COVID there was this issue which has happened, and post recovery or post pandemic recovery was not very good. Okay, and that is why now we are helping them with the various things. Okay, so these are another India Bangladesh pacts: the e-visa for medical patients from Bangladesh, new Assistant High Commission on India in Rangpur in Bangladesh. This Rangpur is in Bangladesh. Okay, please remember that. New train service between the Rajshahi and Kolkata, new bus service between Chittagong and Kolkata. Okay, now these are all connectivity services. Okay, you can see it as track to diplomacy or people to people connect as well. Goods trains which has been there, Jade, Darshana and the Haldibari, Chilahati up to Dalgaon. Okay, so that is also there. Construction of inland container depot. Then you can say export of 40 megawatt power from Nepal to Bangladesh through Indian grid. Okay, so India tries to import the electricity from the Bhutan and Nepal. Okay, since we are also electricity surplus country, so we have to you can say give it to some other country. So what we are trying to do is, now instead of buying the electricity from the Nepal, what we are doing is we are transporting it through our Indian grid to the Bangladesh. Okay, so that is there. Then joint technical committee for the discussing renewal of the Ganga water treaty, visit of the technical delegation to Bangladesh for the project on the conservation and the management of the Teesta river. Okay, so on the Ganga water and the Teesta water, we are sending some technical teams as well. 350 training slots for the Bangladesh police officers. Okay, even for the Bhutan we do that. Bangladesh 350 police officers will be trained in India. So these are there. Then there is this Mukti Jodha scheme for medical patients with an upper ceiling of rupees 8 lakh per patient. Now please remember that there is this scheme for Mukti that is called as Mukti Jodha scheme. Okay, basically this is some kind of help which we are giving to the Bangladesh and there are certain patients which are coming to India. For them we are having this particular scheme and we are giving them 8 lakh rupees you can say per person. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, as Dhaka and Delhi have started new journeys, we charted the future course of action to ensure a smart Bangladesh by following Vision 2041, that is Bangladesh's target, that is Smart Bangladesh. Okay, and then we have Viksit Bharat by 2047. So we are trying to align our interest on these lines. Okay, so that is what PM Sheikh Hasina has said. Okay, you can go through this article. These are certain important things. If you can't remember all these things, just focus on these 4. Okay, that is important for us. That's all. Now moving further to the when we are talking about the Bangladesh, here you can see this is Bangladesh. This is Bay of Bengal. Okay, there are Indian you can say states which are having a border with Bangladesh. You know that India has the largest border with Bangladesh. Okay, so first state is your West Bengal, second is your Assam, third is Meghalaya, then we have here Tripura, fourth, and there we have Mizoram, 5. So there are 5 states which are having border with Bangladesh. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now moving further, why Russia North Korea mutual defense pact is significant for the region and the world. Okay, so that is there. When we are talking about this particular pact, recently they have signed a pact, a security agreement between Russia and North Korea on providing immediate military assistance if either faces armed aggression. Okay, so I'll give you the crux of this particular thing, that if any country is going for attack on either Russia or on North Korea, the other country will come to the support of the the country which is facing the attack. Okay, without any kind of delay. Okay, so that is there. Hold on a second. Okay, so if there is an attack on Russia or North Korea, the second country will come to rescue of that country by the help of the military, etc., etc. Okay, without any kind of delay. Now this pact in today's world is not very much important because there are chances that no one will go for a direct attack. Okay, but the thing is, this pact is having some kind of significance attached to it when we are talking about the countries like Japan, South Korea, okay, Taiwan. Okay, if we are talking about USA, other Western allies, etc. Okay, so there are certain significance attached to it. Okay, I will not go into all these things because when we are talking about the historical context, so you know that in the time of your Cold War, we know that there was these 2 blocks were there. One is USA and second one was USSR. So at that point of time, the USSR wanted having these influence over the North Korea, and at that point of time, USA had the influence on the South Korea. Okay, and then there was this Korean War, etc., etc. That is not important for us, in this particular discussion. After that, there was this agreement which has been signed between these 2 countries, North Korea and USSR. That was North Korea and USSR. Okay, so this agreement was basically the Russo-North Korea Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation and the Mutual Assistance. Okay, but the thing is, in 1989 or 90, there was this dissolution of USSR, and because of which this agreement was not given much significance, or you can say this was not of much use. Okay, after that, there was some strain in the ties between these 2 countries. Okay, then comes right now the situation. This pact becomes important because after that particular point of time in 1961 or at the time of the Cold War era, there was no such pact. Okay, of mutual security, or you can say collective you can say security, etc. But right now they are going for it, and you know that North Korea is seeking for the nuclear weapon. Okay, now in this particular pact, the significance here is that they will provide the military assistance, they will provide you the technical know-how, etc. Okay, there are various other corporations are also actually included over here. So with respect to that, when we see, the thing is, North Korea, Western allies and the Western countries think that North Korea has the nuclear weapon, okay, but they do not have the technical know-how how to use it, okay. Now the thing is, Russia can provide with that. So that is one thing, that is the cause of concerns for USA, okay. Second, that is also a cause of concern from Japan and South Korea, okay. So you know that Japan has gone for the change in the particular policy. When we are talking about the Japan's constitution, that was a pacifist constitution. Now they have, you know, said that they will go for the building their army and the military capabilities as well, okay. So that is the second thing. South Korea is also trying to have more you can say collaborations with the Western allies, okay, like USA's allies, etc. So that is there. Taiwan is also trying to have some kind of collaborations with the Western allies, like USA is supporting Taiwan's claims, etc., etc. So basically, in that regard, it becomes important that these countries are facing a threat from the North Korea and Russia, okay, specifically from the North Korea, and North Korea will be supported by Russia in that particular case, okay. Second thing is what Russia will gain from out of it, because Russia is going for a war, they are facing this war. So North Korea can provide the ammunition, okay, they can build certain kind of artilleries, they can build certain kind of defense equipment, and they can provide it with the Russia, and Russia can give them the technical know-how, or you can say they can transfer the technology. Manufacturing unit will be there in the North Korea and they will supply this thing. Third thing, China. Why China should be concerned? China should be concerned because right now China is having a influence in this particular area, because Russia is going little down. But with this particular treaty, Russia's status will again increase as a military power, and that is not very good for China, okay. So again, in Asia there will be two or three, you can say, when we are talking about India, China and Russia, there will be three axes which will be fighting for the power, okay. So that is why China does not want that Russia should have such kind of deal with North Korea, okay. Second thing is, in North Korea also China has a huge sway. If Russia is there, Russia is helping them with the money and the technical know-how, okay, so that sway or the influence of China will fade away, okay. So that is there about this article, you can go through it. Now moving further, Russia can reduce decision time for the using nukes, okay. So they have said that since the conditions are like that, if we can reduce the nuke times, okay, so that can help us gain a deterrence, okay. So nuke time over here is that the time let's say a country attacks on you, the time when you take to launch a nuclear weapon, okay, or take a decision to launch a nuclear weapon, okay. So they are saying that basically that time can be reduced. That is not important for us as of now. Now moving further here, for your own read, there are two articles. One is related to the cloud 3.5, okay, like your Chat GPT, like Gemini, etc. This is also an artificial intelligence tool, okay. So you can go through it and read about it. Second thing is, in the heart of Mehrauli, this Bhul Bhulaiya is more than just a maze, okay. So you can go through it and see some historical aspects of this Bhul Bhulaiya, okay. So I hope that is clear. Now last part, that is basically your practice question. What is the primary feature of ISRO's Pushpak reusable launch vehicle? Vertical landing capability, horizontal landing capability, suborbital flight capability, and propeller driven landing, okay. So you have to choose the correct option or most appropriate option and answer in the comment box, okay. So with that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.